So I want to talk about an aspect of fitness training that's often underutilized and underrated, and that's skill-based fitness. Because most of the time when we think about fitness training, we think about running on the treadmill, running, lifting weights, stretching, etc., etc. And for the most part, what we're doing there is movements that we're already able to do, and we're just adding intensity, adding weight to the bar, adding reps, adding distance, things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to knock that by any means, but sometimes, especially as adults, we forget about learning skills, and I think that's an important element of fitness. It can also add a lot of fun and sometimes frustration and unpredictability. But think about it: when you were learning how to move, you were learning how to move your body the way that you do. Everything was both attribute and skill based. So you were still getting stronger and building muscle and building endurance, but at the same time you were also building these motor patterns and learning. And then we become adults and we kind of stop learning new skills. That's a big part of it, and that's, I think, a big reason of why people are often either unhappy or stagnating or don't enjoy their training, because they're just kind of getting by. They're not actively working on learning something new. And I think that's really something everybody should be including. And there's a lot of ways to do that. A lot of sports already do that. Martial arts is a great example because there's a lot of unpredictability and there is a lot of new skills, new movements to learn. Gymnastics is also really interesting in that regard. And I'm not saying these are the ultimate things and everybody should be doing them, but gymnastics is really interesting in that you progress by learning new skills or by starting to create routines and combination of skills that you can already do. And there is attribute training, and these skills require the use of the attributes that you do have to build up through the strength and conditioning, but it's about the skills. And again, I'm just saying, a lot of the adult fitness program and methodologies, they don't really prioritize learning new things. It's just about doing the same things you can already do. And I'm not saying it's not important. I know I've repeated myself, but when was the last time you actually learned a skill? You learned something that was completely new to you and you had to figure it out and you sucked at it and you had to struggle. And then eventually, after struggling and breaking it down and finding different teachers to explain it for you, it started to click. And then you got that skill. And then you found you were able to do it consistently. That, even though it can be frustrating through the process, it's a very satisfying feeling. And if you learn it the right way, it becomes permanent. If you do it right, you don't forget these skills. And the skills stay with you. So that's just my thought right now, is if you're training for strength, for endurance, for flexibility, for all these attributes, start to consider training for skills that apply those attributes. And it's a lot more fun. It's a way to apply the stuff that you're training for, and it's a way to make yourself more interesting as a person. Let me know what you think.